Captain Ibrahim Traoré has just shook the world. He has teamed up with Vladimir Putin in Moscow to forge a powerful alliance. In a world of shifting powers, these two leaders are rewriting Africa's future. Is this a bold stand against the West or a gamble that could backfire? Today, we'll uncover what they discussed, why it matters, and what it means for a continent at a crossroads. Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in the heart of West Africa, is a land forged in struggle. For 10 years, it has faced a constant wave of violence. Since 2015, armed jihadist groups have torn through the Sahel region, killing more than 20,000 people and forcing more than 2 million Burkinabe away from their homes. France, which once controlled the country as a colony, sent soldiers and drones saying they would bring peace. But for many, their presence felt like chains disguised as protection. It was as if things were getting worse while they were around. However, in 2022, a new voice emerged from the chaos. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a 34-year-old military officer, seized power in a coup that was not driven by greed, but with a dream of true independence. He promised to free Burkina Faso from the West's influence. He declared that his country would no longer beg for scraps. And he didn't just say it, he did it. In early 2023, he made a move that shocked the world. He kicked out French soldiers, ending years of relying on foreign military support. But Traoré wasn't just rejecting the West, he was looking for new partners. However, who could stand with a country facing dangers on all sides and help it grow strong again? His search for answers led him thousands of miles away to Moscow. Traoré met Vladimir Putin for the first time at the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit. Their conversation that day sparked a partnership built on resistance to the Western influence. Russia, which had been struggling under Western sanctions, found a friend in Burkina Faso, a country set on charting its own course. By December 2023, Russia reopened its embassy in Ouagadougou after it had been closed for more than 30 years. But it didn't end there. Not long after, Russia began to send humanitarian aid. 25,000 tons of wheat were delivered to Burkina Faso free of charge. Was this an act of friendship or a smart move in a global power struggle? We will find out soon. Burkina Faso wasn't alone in its rebellion to Western influence. Together with Mali and Niger, it created the Alliance of Sahel States, a group determined to push back against Western military forces. They were tired of the West and didn't want anything to do with them anymore. However, Traoré didn't just want to rebel against the West alone. He had a bold and daring plan. He wanted to build a defense industry within his own country. His plan was straightforward: use Burkina Faso's rich gold resources to fund a homegrown defense industry, producing rifles, drones, and armored vehicles. But he still had a problem to deal with. The armed jihadist groups in his country were still terrorizing villages and towns across the countryside. Building factories from scratch while fighting jihadists is no small feat. He needed a partner, and he had the perfect one already. But there was a big question that needed to be answered. Could Traoré really trust Russia to support his vision? That question led to a crucial moment in May 2025, a moment that would test the limits of this partnership. On May 9, 2025, Traoré landed in Moscow not as a beggar asking for favors, but as a leader with a clear goal. He had come to join Russia's Victory Day, an event honoring the Soviet defeat of Nazi Germany in the Great Patriotic War that claimed 27 million lives and reshaped the world. For the Russian people, this is more than just a celebration. It is a sacred reminder of their ancestors' suffering, courage, and unbreakable spirit. But behind the grand ceremonies and marching soldiers, something bigger was at play on Traoré's mind. Traoré was after something else in the halls of the Kremlin. He wasn't just there to honor the past, he was there to shape the future. He had a bold agenda, and he had history on his side. That history runs deeper than most people know. The bond between Russia and Burkina Faso is stronger than many people realize. Back in World War II, 30,000 soldiers from Burkina Faso, which was then known as Upper Volta, fought bravely against Nazi Germany as part of the anti-Hitler coalition. They served under French General Charles de Gaulle, although their sacrifice is mostly forgotten in history books. But Putin remembers. When he welcomed Traoré on Victory Day, Putin began his speech by honoring this shared legacy. He praised Burkina Faso's role in the fight against Nazism. But this was no mere history lesson, it was the foundation for a bold new alliance. The past had set the stage, now the two leaders were writing the next chapter. And in the grand halls of the Kremlin, that chapter took shape. Traoré and Putin discussed critical issues with ambition. Putin talked about their common struggle against terrorism and extremism, promising to back Burkina Faso in its fight against armed groups. Traoré in turn praised Russia's ability to stand up to Western sanctions, calling it an example of strength in tough times. But for Traoré, this meeting was about more than just words, it was about action. He wasn't just there to praise Russia, he had come with a concrete plan. He wanted military cooperation, technology transfers, and a vision for a stronger Burkina Faso. Beyond security, he also wanted Russia's help in training and educating the youths, believing that true independence comes from building their own industries, enterprises, and manufacturing power. But can Russia deliver the tools Traoré needs to transform his nation? Burkina Faso's ambitions are nothing short of revolutionary. They have big dreams. The Prime Minister, John Emmanuel Ouedraogo, recently unveiled plans to build a domestic defense industry, producing rifles, drones, and armored vehicles on Burkinabe soil. This is a direct challenge to years of reliance on foreign arms, which often came with the strings attached. But ambition alone is not enough. Here's the problem. Turning this vision into reality won't be simple. It might even be the toughest fight Burkina Faso has faced yet. Building a defense industry from scratch isn't easy. Burkina Faso lacks factories, experts, and money, especially as it battles a brutal war against jihadists. So how can they possibly succeed? Will Russia, with its massive weapons factories and deep military expertise, step in to make this dream a reality? Or is Traoré betting on a partner with its own agenda? Whatever happens, the West is already watching with increasing alarm. Although their watchfulness is no surprise. For years, countries like France and the US called the shots in the Sahel with their military bases and aid programs, ensuring their influence. Burkina Faso was supposed to play by their rules, but now the old playbook is being torn up and the West is scrambling to adjust. Burkina Faso's turn to Russia is not just a diplomatic shift. It is a bold rejection of decades of Western control. Critics warn that Traoré is merely swapping one master for another, risking entanglement in Russia's geopolitical web. Yet Traoré's supporters see things differently. To them, this is about freedom. Finally, an African leader is standing up, taking charge, refusing to let foreign powers dictate their future. But is Traoré truly outsmarting the West or walking straight into a trap? The answer does not lie in alliances alone, but in what comes next. The real test is not just about choosing sides, it is about survival. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not just fighting for Burkina Faso's future, he is also fighting against forces that don't want him to succeed. Yet, his defiance has ignited something irreversible. His bold resistance has lit a flame of hope across the country and continent. But with it comes the shadow of uncertainty. And the harder he pushes forward, the fiercer the opposition grows. That opposition now takes many forms. His push for self-reliance, from gold refineries to military factories, has made him foreign and powerful enemies. Even in the country, jihadist groups have intensified their attacks, sensing that the country is on the edge of transformation. Meanwhile, Western powers have tightened their grip on aid and trade, trying to pressure Burkina Faso back under their influence. And now, with Russia stepping in as a partner, the pressure is higher than ever. Yet, Traoré refuses to bend. If the world thought he would trade one master for another, they misunderstood his mission entirely. As the Kremlin meeting ended, the world expected a simple arms deal, Russian weapons for Burkina Faso's loyalty. But the truth is bigger. Traoré wasn't just there for guns. He was after something more powerful, true independence. In their talks, Putin and Traoré outlined a partnership that went beyond military aid. Russia would provide expertise, technology, and training to help Burkina Faso build its own defense industry from the ground up. But in geopolitics, nothing is given, only traded. Deals like these never come free. There's always a catch, a hidden price. And this one, we are about to find out. The key to Burkina Faso's strategy is right at home, its own natural riches. Captain Traoré is tapping into the country's vast gold reserves, which is one of the biggest in Africa, to fund his vision. In late 2023, he opened a cutting-edge gold refinery, a move that keeps profits inside Burkina Faso instead of letting foreign companies take them away. But gold alone won't break the chains of dependence. That's where the people come in. There is also a National Solidarity Fund, a grassroots effort where citizens contribute to help displaced families and fund critical national projects. Together, these resources give Traoré real power. He's not kneeling before foreign donors pleading for handouts. Instead, he's standing firm, offering a deal on equal terms. But what does Russia want in return? The answer lies in the soil and the map. Russia's involvement isn't just about helping Burkina Faso out of kindness. The Sahel region is rich in minerals that haven't been fully exploited, and its location makes it strategically important in the global competition for resources. For Putin, Burkina Faso is a key to gaining influence in the Alliance of Sahel States, a group that could shift the balance of power in Africa. In return for providing technology and military training, Russia is looking to secure access to Burkina Faso's valuable gold, uranium, and trade markets. This isn't charity, it is a risky deal between two nations challenging the old world order. Now, the real test begins. Can President Traoré hold on to Burkina Faso's freedom while playing this dangerous game? The stakes are high, but so are the rewards. The scale of the partnership between the two countries is large. Russia is already offering twice as many scholarships to students from Burkina Faso, with 27 more young Burkinabés set to arrive in 2025. They will study key fields like engineering, medicine, and military strategy, skills that will help them shape their country's future. Meanwhile, the Russian embassy in Ouagadougou, which opened its doors in 2024, is already teaching the Russian language and promoting cultural exchange, strengthening the bond between the two countries. But education and diplomacy are only one side of the deal. On the military side, Russia has promised to train Burkina Faso's armed forces and share counter-terrorism tactics, which could be crucial for a country facing security threats. But there is another layer to this partnership, one that is raising questions. Reports suggest Russian private military companies like the infamous Wagner Group might be involved. If true, this could mean more than just partnership. Traoré may be inviting a new kind of foreign influence into his country. This shift is not going unnoticed. This sudden change has shocked the whole world. Western countries, already uncomfortable after Traoré kicked out French troops, now face a troubling possibility: a Burkina Faso leaning toward Russia and possibly equipped with high-tech weapons. Across Africa, country leaders and the citizens are watching, some with admiration, others with concern. Could Burkina Faso's risky move spark a wave of similar resistance across the continent, or will the country bend under the Western influenced pressure of global isolation and economic strain? The odds are against Burkina Faso, and the world is waiting to see what happens next. The meeting between Traoré and Putin is not just a small moment in diplomacy. It is proof of what can happen when bravery meets opportunity. Burkina Faso used to be overlooked in world politics, but now it stands strong, showing the unshakable spirit of Africa. The path forward won't be easy. Terrorism, economic struggles, and political power games all lie ahead. But for the first time, Burkina Faso is facing these challenges on its own terms. Captain Ibrahim Traoré dreams of a Burkina Faso that is truly free, and in Moscow, he has found a partner ready to stand with him and make that dream real. Will this partnership change Africa for the better, or will it lead to new struggles? Only time will tell. One thing is clear: the world will never look at Burkina Faso the same way again. Burkina Faso has made its move. the world must now choose: watch history or become part of history. Traoré's alliance with Putin could bring military strength and economic freedom, but history shows Russia's deals often come with strings attached. Western powers, angry at losing influence, might hit back with more sanctions. And if jihadist attacks continue, Traoré's dream could crumble. So, what do you think? Will this alliance save Burkina Faso or lead it into new dangers? If this story of resistance and ambition inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep stories into the forces shaping our world.